If you can't move on after a breakup, I want you to stop for a second and take a deep breath. I'm not here to feed you cliches or empty advice. I want to talk to you the way someone should have spoken to you long ago, with truth, with clarity, and with the kind of love that doesn't sugarcoat the healing process. You're not weak because you're still hurting. You're not broken because you still miss them. And you're definitely not pathetic because you replay every moment, every smile, and every late-night text in your head like a record stuck on repeat. That's human. That's what love does to you. It digs deep into your bones and leaves traces even after it's gone. And if it's still hurting, it means it mattered. But the problem is, you've confused meaning with permanence. Just because something meant everything once doesn't mean it was meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives to awaken parts of us, not to stay with us. And right now, your job is not to understand why it ended. Your job is to learn how to let go of needing that understanding. You keep searching for closure like it's a door someone else has the key to. But what if I told you that closure isn't something you get from another person? It's something you give yourself. It's the moment you stop waiting for them to come back and explain what went wrong. It's the moment you stop checking their last scene, stop scrolling through your old messages, and stop hoping that maybe, just maybe, today will be the day they reach out. Closure is not a text. It's not an apology. It's not them crying on your doorstep saying they made a mistake. Closure is a decision. It's choosing yourself over the fantasy of what could have been. It's looking at the story you created in your mind and realizing that reality just couldn't live up to it. That doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It just means that love alone isn't always enough. Maybe you think if you hold on a little longer, the pain will turn into something beautiful. And maybe it will. But not if you keep living in the past. Not if you keep punishing yourself for what you should have said or done differently. The truth is, people leave. Even good people. Even people who loved you. Sometimes they leave because they're scared. Sometimes they leave because they're selfish. And sometimes they leave because they've already grown into someone who no longer fits into the shape of your life. That's not your fault. You don't have to carry that shame like a shadow behind you. You don't have to make sense of why someone stopped loving you. Because their silence is your answer. Their absence is your permission to start again. I know the nights are the worst. When everything's quiet and you're left alone with your thoughts. When the pillow beside you is empty and you wonder if they're thinking about you too. When the memories play in slow motion and you ache for a time when everything made sense. But pain isn't permanent. You won't always feel this heavy. You won't always wake up with a lump in your throat or a void in your chest. One day you'll hear their name and your heart won't clench. One day you'll walk past the place you used to go together and it won't sting. One day you'll remember them and smile. Not because you want them back, but because you finally understand why it didn't work out. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It comes in waves. Some days you'll feel okay, even strong. Other days you'll collapse all over again. That's part of the process. You're not back at square one. You're just being reminded that healing isn't linear. So if you can't move on, start with small things. Remove their photos, not out of bitterness, but because you need room to breathe. Change your routine if you have to. Stop listening to songs that reopen wounds. Fill your day with things that remind you of who you were before them. Read books. Go on walks. Talk to people who see your worth, not just your pain. You don't need to pretend you're fine. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. Even if your heart is shattered. Even if you're tired of being strong. Because every time you choose to get up, you're proving to yourself that you are more than what you lost. You are the person who survived the breaking. And that's something worth being proud of. It's easy to romanticize the past, especially when the future feels so uncertain. But remember, you're only remembering the highlights. You're not remembering the way you felt ignored, the way you constantly doubted your worth, the way you gave more than you received. Don't let nostalgia trick you into thinking you lost something perfect. You didn't. You lost something human, beautiful, flawed, fleeting. And what's ahead of you isn't a punishment. It's a chance to rebuild, to rediscover parts of yourself that got buried under compromise, to find someone who doesn't make you question whether you're lovable. But before that person comes, you need to become that person for yourself. Be the one who stays. Be the one who believes in your own worth when no one else does. You're allowed to miss them. You're allowed to cry. But don't let that be the only thing you do. Because life is still happening all around you. There are people who haven't met you yet who will love you in ways you can't even imagine. There are chapters you haven't written, places you haven't been, versions of yourself you haven't stepped into yet. Don't trade all that possibility for someone who couldn't see your value. You deserve to be chosen every single day, not just when it's convenient. You deserve someone who doesn't leave you guessing, someone who shows up with clarity, with commitment, with real presence. And until then, you deserve your own love. There is no deadline on healing, no timer that goes off when you're supposed to be over it. Don't let anyone rush you, but also don't get stuck. Don't build a shrine to someone who walked away. Don't waste your years waiting for someone who already let go. The pain you feel now is temporary, but the strength you build through this process will stay with you forever. Every tear you cry is watering the ground where your future self will rise. So grieve, but also grow. Let the breakup be the end of something, but also the beginning of something else. And from this very point onward, the real transformation begins. Not the one others can see, but the one that happens quietly, deep inside you. This is the version of you that's born from the ashes. The one that doesn't need to be validated by someone else's love to feel whole. The one that doesn't beg for closure or seek permission to heal. You've walked through fire, and while it burned, it also purified. What's left now is not weakness, it's raw strength. It's resilience shaped by grief. It's wisdom earned through silence and solitude. You've seen what it means to be abandoned, and you're learning now what it means to come home to yourself. There will be days ahead when the world feels unfamiliar without them, when your laughter sounds different, your mornings feel empty, and your dreams still feature the shadow of someone who once mattered. But that emptiness is not a sign of something missing. It's space being cleared for something better. The human heart doesn't break and then stay broken. It cracks open so that it can be rebuilt more honestly, more gently, more truthfully. The version of love you are headed toward is deeper. It's rooted not in need, but in truth. And the only way to reach it is to keep walking, even if every step feels heavy at first. You will outgrow the pain, slowly but surely. One day, the pain that consumed you will feel like a scar you can touch without flinching. You'll stop checking their social media not because you told yourself to, but because you no longer care what they're doing. You'll stop comparing every new connection to them because you'll understand that they were never the standard, just a stop along the way. You'll rediscover parts of yourself you abandoned in the relationship, your creativity, your passions, your boundaries. You'll learn how to sit with your own silence and realize it's not loneliness, it's peace. This journey, though painful, will also be beautiful. You'll notice small victories, sleeping through the night without crying, smiling at a stranger and meaning it, making plans for the future and feeling excited again. These aren't just random moments, they're milestones. They're the signs that you are healing, even if the process is invisible to others. And somewhere along the way, you'll realize you're not surviving anymore. You're living. You're thriving. You're no longer a version of yourself shaped by someone else's love. You're the author of your own narrative. And that narrative is finally being written in your voice. You will meet someone new eventually, but they won't be your savior. They won't be your missing piece. You won't need them to fill a void because you'll have already done that work yourself. And because of that, your love for them will be different. It will be freer, kinder, more generous, but with boundaries. You'll love without losing yourself. You'll give without emptying. You'll show up without begging for someone to stay. Because this time, you'll know that your worth isn't something another person can increase or decrease. It's steady. It's sacred. It's yours. And if love doesn't come when you expect it, you won't panic. Because you'll have discovered that solitude isn't scary when you've built a life you enjoy. Your own company won't feel like a punishment anymore. It'll feel like a gift. You'll go places alone and find joy in your independence. You'll build rituals that nourish you. Morning walks, journaling, music that lifts you up, routines that ground you. You'll become the kind of person who makes others feel safe just by being in the room. Not because you're trying to please everyone, but because you've done the hard work of healing. And healed people radiate safety. You will, without even realizing it, become a lighthouse for others. People will come to you with their own heartbreaks, and you'll offer comfort not just from sympathy, but from lived truth. You'll know what it feels like to be in the darkness. And because you found your way out, you'll know how to help others navigate it too. Your pain will become purpose. Your suffering will turn into strength. And every part of your past, every tear, every sleepless night, every goodbye you never got, will serve as the foundation for a future filled with light. None of this erases what happened. This is not about pretending the breakup didn't hurt or that you didn't love them deeply. That love was real, but it's no longer your destination. It's a chapter you've closed. And just like any good story, the most powerful chapters are the ones that come after the fall. This is your rising. This is your reclaiming. This is where you stop defining yourself by what you've lost and start defining yourself by who you've become. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to be willing. Willing to feel the discomfort. Willing to face the truth. Willing to believe that something better exists beyond what you can see. And willing to trust yourself again and again, even when it's hard. Healing is not about deleting the past. It's about integrating it, letting it teach you, shape you, refine you, but not imprison you. The past can be part of your story without being the whole story. You are allowed to let go of what hurt you without letting go of what it taught you. So start fresh, not just with your surroundings, but with your beliefs. Rebuild your confidence, not from compliments or attention, but from the way you show up for yourself, the way you keep going, the way you honor your feelings without letting them control you. This is where you learn that closure isn't about slamming the door shut. It's about gently walking away with your dignity intact. It's about saying, this chapter is over, and that's okay. You'll cry again. That's part of it. There will be relapses. There will be days when the grief sneaks back in like fog and covers everything you thought was clear. Don't let those days make you think you're broken. Healing isn't about never feeling pain again. It's about learning how to carry that pain differently. How to hold it without letting it hold you. How to feel it without drowning in it. The goal isn't to be untouched by life. It's to be touched by it and still keep going. And while you're doing this work, be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Replace the criticism with compassion. Replace the what-ifs with even-ifs. Even if they never apologize, even if they never regret losing you, even if you never get the answers, your healing is still valid. Your future is still bright. Your happiness is still possible. Your peace is not dependent on them. It never was. Don't underestimate the quiet strength it takes to keep living your life after your heart has been shattered. Don't minimize the bravery it takes to face a day that starts with tears but ends in courage. Every step you take, no matter how small, is sacred. Every moment you choose not to go back to what broke you is a victory. You may not see it yet, but you're already rebuilding. You're already rising. You're already becoming. One day, far from now, someone will look at you and see the light in your eyes, the fire that came from walking through your own darkness. And they'll ask how you did it, how you survived, how you healed. And you'll smile, maybe a little sadly, but with a heart full of grace. You'll say, I didn't think I could, but I kept going anyway. That's how you'll know you made it. Not because you never fell again, but because every time you did, you rose. And once you release that heavy stone of heartbreak, you'll notice something strange at first, an unfamiliar lightness, a kind of quiet in your soul you haven't felt in months. It might not be dramatic or loud. It may not even feel like joy right away. It might feel more like stillness, like the noise has finally dulled, like your heart can finally catch its breath. That stillness is sacred. Don't rush it. Sit in it. Let yourself exist without trying to fix anything, win anyone back, or make sense of what was never meant to be understood. Let yourself just be. That's the beginning of true healing. When you stop clinging to the pain, you start making space for peace. The world around you won't change overnight. The bed will still feel a little too big. The silence in your room may still echo. You might still instinctively reach for your phone at night, wondering if they thought of you. But those moments will pass more quickly now. They'll lose their grip. The ache will loosen. Your mind, which once ran loops of what you could have done differently, will start to quiet. And in that quiet, you'll hear something new, your own voice. The one you silenced while trying to hold on to someone else. The voice that tells you, finally, you made it. You're still here. You'll realize that healing isn't just about letting go of them. It's about returning to you. The real you. The one who had dreams before that relationship. The one who laughed deeply before they left. The one who felt whole long before they came along and made you believe love had to hurt to be real. That version of you is still there, buried beneath the weight of all you've endured. And now, with your hands empty, you can begin to dig that version of you out, brush them off, and reintroduce yourself to who you've always been. This rediscovery won't happen in a single moment. It'll happen across many mornings when you wake up and no longer feel crushed. It'll happen in the afternoons when you're laughing with someone and suddenly realize you're genuinely happy. It'll happen when you walk past a place you once avoided and feel nothing at all. These are the subtle signs that your heart is healing. Not because someone saved you, but because you chose to keep living. You chose to keep showing up for yourself, even on the days when it would have been easier to give up. People around you might not understand the full scope of your journey. To them, it may seem like you're just getting over someone, but you'll know the truth. You'll know that you weren't just moving on from a person. You were unlearning the idea that your worth was tied to being loved by them. You were detaching from the fantasy that they were your only chance at happiness. You were tearing down a house built on hope that never had a foundation. And in its place, you're building something new, brick by brick, breath by breath. Something stronger, something yours. And when love comes again, and it will feel different. You'll walk into it with open eyes and a healed heart. You'll carry boundaries that protect you rather than walls that isolate you. You won't fall into it blindly. You'll walk into it deliberately. You'll choose love, not chase it. You'll no longer be drawn to chaos dressed as passion. You'll no longer romanticize inconsistency. You'll be done with love that leaves you guessing, because now you know better. Now you know what it feels like to choose yourself after being broken. And you won't trade that self-worth for anyone, no matter how charming the illusion. In time, the lessons will outweigh the loss. You'll see how every disappointment sharpened your clarity, how every rejection redirected your path, how every lonely night taught you to find comfort within. You'll begin to appreciate the journey, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary, because it led you here, to a place where you no longer beg for love, but become it. You'll understand that the goal was never to get them back. It was to get you back. And that version of you, the one who rose from the ruins, is more beautiful than you've ever been. You'll become a safe space for yourself. You'll learn how to regulate your emotions instead of suppressing them. You'll know the difference between loneliness and solitude, and you'll start choosing solitude when it brings you peace. You'll create rituals that nurture your soul, lighting candles in your room, journaling your thoughts, dancing alone in your kitchen, cooking meals for one with the kind of care you once reserved for someone else. These aren't small things. These are sacred acts of self-love. They're the pieces of the new life you're building, intentionally, slowly, and entirely on your terms. And yes, you will still have bad days. Healing isn't a straight line. Some memories will still sting. Some songs will still catch you off guard. But pain won't paralyze you anymore. You'll feel it and let it pass, just like a storm. You'll trust yourself to weather it without collapsing. Because now, your heart knows how to bend without breaking. Now, you've seen what you're capable of surviving. You've built resilience out of what tried to destroy you. And that strength, that quiet inner power, is yours forever. You won't need to prove your healing to anyone. You won't need to post a picture or a quote to show the world you're doing fine. You'll know, and that's enough. Healing is not loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It shows up in your peace, in your energy, in the way you carry yourself. It radiates in your silence. It glows in your calmness. It's in the way you speak to yourself now, with kindness, with gentleness, with love. That's how you know you've moved on. Not because you forgot them, but because you remembered yourself. You are not the same person who loved them. You're someone newer now. Someone wiser. Someone softer, but stronger. Someone who knows that real love never asks you to lose yourself. Someone who understands that you can love someone deeply and still let them go. Someone who has rewritten their definition of love to include peace, consistency, safety, and mutual growth. Someone who will never again settle for less than what you now know you deserve. In the future, you'll look back at this chapter not with regret, but with reverence. You'll honor the pain, not because it felt good, but because it shaped you. You'll remember the tears, not with shame, but with pride. You'll carry the memory, not like a wound, but like a tattoo, a quiet mark of all you've been through and how you chose to rise anyway. You'll become a living testament to what it means to love, to lose, and to live again. The most powerful love story you'll ever write will not be the one where they come back. It'll be the one where you move forward, where you become your own safe place, where you fall in love with your own life, where you wake up excited about the day, not because someone's waiting for you, but because you're no longer waiting for anyone. You become the person you needed. You become whole on your own. And so, as this new chapter begins, carry this truth with you. You were never too much. You were never too sensitive, too emotional, too intense. You were just loving in a world that sometimes forgets how to receive love. But don't let that change you. Keep your heart open, not recklessly, but courageously. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing to believe in love, even if it hasn't found you yet, because it will. And when it does, it will be a reflection of everything you've built within yourself.